Hello, truth seekers. Lawrence here, and welcome to Easy Enlightenment. So, we are all seeking self improvement in our lives, right? All the efforts we are putting out in the world is to invite that better shift, physically, mentally, and spiritually. So, that shift we see as improvement. And the idea of improvement is coming from the place of experience. Our environment is emphasizing on that, referencing us that we need to you know do better. you know and also from our own experience, we know that we can do better. For example, if you have been part of certain practice for long enough, in the beginning you're engaged in a gross level of that practice, and then slowly you start to see the subtlety of that practice. So you move from the gross to subtle, and maybe you're moved to the subtlest. You have refined that practice, and you have the simplest mind, and that simplest mind is creating the highest experience. So see that how our practice also give us that idea that we can do better. So from our own experience and from the environment, uh, referencing us towards that, right? So we have this idea of seeking improvement, self improvement. Now, self improvement in the relative sense is all good, especially when we are moving in the uh, sequential way of things. In the world, everything everything has its own pattern, and if you recognize the pattern that aligns with our stuff, then we can invite those patterns, and then we can you know move with that to create the highest improvement in the relative sense. And again, that's all good, but when it comes to spiritual improvement, uh, that's spiritual improvement itself contradicts the spirituality, because this real spirituality is about taking out all the credential you know from the mind. We have to dissolve the mind to be spiritually free, freedom from the mind. And this is where the whole process contradicts. uh, our whole life has been is about improving the self, and then spirituality is about dissolving the self. So when we are being part of the spiritual practice, we must understand, at least in the conceptual sense, that it is about dissolving the mind, dissolving the credential, of the mind. That means dissolving the belief, dissolving our preference, and that itself is, dissolving the ego, because spirituality is about dissolving the ego. So today, we can create an inward journey by asking ourselves, why do we seek self improvement? So, this simple inquiry can help us to subtract the mind. So, you sit with yourself with this inquiry: why do I seek self improvement? And when you sit with this inquiry, then now you can trace your mind backward to the root cause of your seeking. And once you see the root cause of your seeking itself is the belief that is making you seek self improvement. Now what you need to do is you have to trace your reasoning backward all the way until there is no more reference is present in you for your seeking. And that's the way to head back to the plain sight truth, the egolessness self. And that itself is the true self. So, you know, the simple way today you can create that inward journey and to understand the nature of the mind, how the mind come into existence, is by staying with this inquiry. Why do I seek self-improvement? And see how far you can trace your mind backward. And if you have been following this channel, and if you've been tracing the other layers that I've recommended you to trace back, if you have been doing it and if you follow this, you are actually creating that inward flow in moving backward. And if you have been doing it, you have suddenly found that uh, some level of ease in moving back. So if you're doing that, great. If you're not there, today you can start with this inquiry: why do I seek self-improvement? And do this, and also watch the other videos on other layers. And yeah, if you're really seeking spiritual freedom, you must do the equation of the mind. That means tracing the mind backward, which some other people call it subtracting the mind, or deconstructing the mind, or tracing the mind backward. It's a different names for it, but it's the same thing. So yeah, do it and see how far you can go, at least in today's inquiry. Okay. Yeah, thanks for watching this video. Hope you're again enjoying the tracing back work. Yeah, take care for now. See you in the next video. Bye.